First of all, free Madeira. Huge round of applause. Bitcoin Atlantis. What an event. And it's a crazy story how it was all put together, and I feel very privileged to have been part of that story. And like all great Bitcoin stories, it just started with a pleb sending a DM message about 3 years ago, and I just looked it up. I have the message from Andre in my DMs still, the first time he reached out. And he said, "Hey, Daniel, you don't know me. I follow you. I listen to your podcast. I've just listened to the one you did with Max and Stacy, and I've listened to the one you've done with Jeff and Michael and other people, and I really want to say thank you for the content." And then he said, "And another thing, I noticed you have a book, and I've just signed a deal with Jeff Booth to translate his book into Portuguese so I can get that book into the hands of the Portuguese-speaking, not just Madeira, but to the Portuguese-speaking world." And he started and this is Andre, the guy that put all this together, and he started a book company called Monstera. He didn't realize that Nico, who runs Consensus, was also on the island of Madeira and lived about 2 blocks away. So those guys got together and started an even bigger collaboration and got more books, and they started translating as many books as they could, Bitcoin books or Bitcoin-related books, as they could into Portuguese to carry on this education. And that was a very humbling moment. And about 2 weeks after that, we decided, yes, I would love for me to be a part of this, and Andre asked if he could translate my book, Choose Life, into Portuguese. And that was very humbling. And I remember my response on the tweet was, "Go ahead, man, but don't expect much. It's not going to, I think Jeff's book is selling about 10,000 copies a day. Mine sells about 1 per week, so I don't think you're going to make a profit." But it wasn't about profit. It was about education. So we struck up a friendship. And 2 weeks later, or 2 months, I can't remember the exact timeline, I get a message on Telegram from Andre, "Please call me immediately as soon as you get this." And this is where the story really starts kicking into gear and why we're here today. So I pick up the phone. I'm like, "Dude, what's up? Is there a problem with the book? I thought I sent the PDF. I thought I sent the cover and everything." And he's like, No. It's not about the book. That's all fine. Don't worry about the book. We'll do that. It's another thing." I'm like, "Okay, well, what do you need help with?" "Well, I had a meeting this morning in my co-working." He runs the co-working as well as a tourist business, as well as a book publishing business. He's a serial entrepreneur. "I had a meeting this morning in my co-working with the president of Madeira. And he was asking me, how do we get more digital nomads coming here? How do we get more families coming here? How do we get more business coming here? How do we reinvigorate Madeira? How do we stay relevant?" And of course, Andre, he knows the answer. Bitcoin fixes this. And he pitched the idea of Bitcoin and being friendly and open to Bitcoin and accepting Bitcoin and as many different merchants as possible and spreading education about Bitcoin, to which the president was open. He wanted to know more. So he said to Andre, "Reach out to whoever you can, and you have a blanket invite to invite people here to speak to me and my cabinet and explain why Bitcoin is important, because we need to stay ahead and stay relevant here on this small island." So that's why he needed to speak to me. 1, to calm down, and 2, to try and find those connections. Who could we get to come and speak about Bitcoin to a government, to a president? So the first people we thought of were, well, how about Jack Mallers and Samson Mal? Like, let's go straight to the top. So we managed to reach Samson, and he was more than willing to come to the island, and they had scheduled a meeting, but that couldn't happen. Samson couldn't get here in the end. So we did a Zoom call, most surreal Zoom call of my life. When the screen comes up, I've got Jeff Booth up in one corner, I've got Samson Mao up in another corner, I've got Andre sat next to the president with all the flags behind them, and I'm like, what is going on? And we pitched the idea of why it's important to embrace Bitcoin and education. And that went really well, and still open. And then Andre calls me a few days later. He's like, you know what? I've got another crazy idea. I'm like, okay, pitch me. What's the idea? He's like, what if we ask the president if he'd be interested to go to the Bitcoin conference in Miami? This was 2022. I'm like, yeah, why not? If we can get him there, I think that'd be an amazing adventure and something for him to, physically feel the emotions of the people. You know what it's like when you come to these conferences. It's tangible. So we call up Bitcoin Magazine, who are running the event, and sure enough, they were more than happy to invite a president from a country they'd never heard of before to come to the conference. And so we did. He came with two other people from his cabinet and one guy from the International Business Center here. And we managed to arrange a breakfast for him to sit down and have a discussion with Michael Saylor. And Michael did the Saylor orange pilling session. He spoke 45 minutes about the importance of how to educate, how to focus on education, which already tied in with Andre's mission of translating all of the books and the articles into Portuguese. So that's the backstory. How did we get to Free Madeira? Well, that came on the back of another conversation that Andre had towards the end of that trip to Miami, where Miguel said to Andre, when we get back, just start a company, go for it, start a non-profit, and focus on the education, focus on getting more people to the island, focus on Bitcoin. And that is how all of this started coming together. Andre invited about 10 to 12 of us across in June 2022 to meet all of the representatives. And that includes, a lot of those people are here today. He asked Troy to come over to talk to the energy company, Obi to come over, Jeff Booth, Larry Lepard, Greg Foss, myself. He had Max here to record the whole thing. If you've not seen the documentary of that trip, go to the Free Madeira website, the YouTube channel, and you can watch a whole documentary of the different meetings that we had and the people that we met and the presentation that we gave to the president afterwards. And this is just the snowball effect of one pleb's actions, one step after another. And this is one thing I really wanted you all to take away from this, is when you put yourself forward in this community, the plebs have got your back. You have no idea where this is going to go. It's 100% true. I started a podcast in January 2020 because I just was bursting with so much knowledge and so much, all of this learning, all of this journey that I'd been through, and I couldn't get it out. I couldn't share it with enough people. So the lowest barrier to entry for me was a podcast, and I'd been procrastinating about this for months. And then when I realized, hang on a minute, you have a laptop, you have a pair of earphones, you have a Zoom account. My cost of entry was 0. What was stopping me? And what's stopping any of you to add value back to this community, the people that have been working? And when I look around here, I can see there's already a few people up here. Coach Carbon is here. The coach, he's putting on a football tournament. And that football tournament he's going to take to America and enter the soccer tournament to try and win $1 million. That's the prize, and anybody can enter this. Anybody. The great thing about that project is he's going to take a team of plebs, and they're going to be playing against. I mean, like they've got ridiculous players. Any player can enter that. Professionals, plebs, anything, and that's going to be representing Bitcoin. So, if anybody is here and they've got a project that they want to start and they really want to give value back to the community, I hope that these stories, this story this morning, this stadium is a representation of one DM that one guy made about 3 years ago. So with all of that said, I'd really love another round of applause. Andre, I know you're there. Please come out, man. Come on. Come on. This is Andre Loja. This is the guy that's put all of this on. Please, upstanding, please. It's been an incredible event. That's pure pleb power. And I'm here for it. And all of you guys are here for it too. So keep connecting with each other. We got this. We got this, truly. So thank you very much for all being here. Raheem is going to come on next as our guest and talk to you about history, and he's going to tie all of this in. He's a great presenter, and I really hope you enjoy the rest of the conference. This is the final day. It's gone so quickly. So thank you so much, and enjoy the speech from Raheem.